All right, guys, good morning. Today I'm going to show you guys butter coffee. And you guys are like, what are you talking about? Coffee is one of those things. If you didn't get a ton of sleep, it'll help you out. I try to go light on it. Try not to use caffeine like excessively. Don't want to be one of those guys that's like 3 cups a day, that type of stuff. But it is a nice start to a morning sometimes if you can't get a workout in or something like that. So I've got the Keurig here. And I love the Keurig. It makes everything super, super simple. We do buy these Keurig little cup things. They get expensive. And so to counter that, sometimes we'll just actually make our own out of the grinds. And then I've got a little cup insert deal that goes right in there. First thing you do, you jump in the kitchen. I'm going to grab my Ashley apron. I actually met Ashley. This is Keith, Keith's wife. At GIE, and she was at the bar with us while Keith was doing all his video stuff and all that stuff, and she was just like really great to talk to. And turns out she has her own apron company, and she made this awesome, I don't know if y'all can see it there or not, Ashley aprons, but she made this freaking awesome apron that just like snaps. It's like no tie and everything like that. So I've actually been using it quite a bit because I like to cook. And I do like doing like little things here and there in the kitchen, so it has been very, very useful for me. Actually, with my busted up arm, without having to tie it in the back, it's actually pretty nice. So it's worked out pretty well to have the Ashley apron on. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We've got our Keurig kind of warmed up. Got a John Deere cup. John Deere gave me this cup. Good 2013 GIE show. I don't know if that lighting is good right there. It's kind of a little dark there. It's probably better lighting. I don't know. So anyway, it's kind of like one of my favorite mugs. I like to use it a lot. It's nice. I don't know why I like it. I think I like the aluminum in it. But I just like the design. John Deere didn't give me a new one this year, and Bobcat or Caterpillar hasn't hooked me up with a new mug either. So this one's still riding. I'm kind of partial to that cup. Also, I'm super weird. I fill up water. Normally, I fill this thing up all the time and let the chlorine evaporate out of it. That's kind of my own thing. I don't know. I always think that there is chlorine in the water, and if you let it evaporate overnight, there's less chlorine in it. So chlorine kind of screws with your pineal gland, and it screws with chlorine's not like the best thing. So it's kind of like my thing. I like to set my water out like a couple days in advance if I can. All right, so now that I've got my coffee, what I do is I go ahead and I drop it in like so into a shaker. I grab my butter, and then what I'll do is I'll bust out a little cutting board. One thing about the butter is that you want to use butter from grass-fed cows. You do not want to be using like salted butter or butter that was cows were fed soy or whatever, because it'll kind of make the butter weird. And then when you consume this much butter, you're gonna feel it So what I'll do is depending on like what I'm going for, I normally go tablespoons. Sometimes I'll go 2 tablespoons. It can be laxative in nature in your first time putting in this much butter in your coffee. But trust me, this is something that's been done for years now. A guy named Dave Asprey kind of like made it popular. He's a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. He actually lives in Seattle now, I believe, but has a huge following. But anyway, he has kind of single-handedly made butter popular. So what I'll do is I'll put a tablespoon of butter in my shaker cup. And I like to use a blender at times because it gives like a really nice cream to it, but shaker cup will work just fine. And then because I'm weird, I like to add on top of it. So you're kind of making like a cocktail. Like if you think of it like as a drink, it's kind of the exact same thing. And so I'll go ahead and I'll shake up my butter. I like using a shaker cup because it's super quick, super easy. In the morning, if people are sleeping or whatever, you're just like, you can bust it out real quick, just like a protein bottle. The goal is not really to melt the butter into the coffee. The goal is kind of like to blend the butter into the coffee. Melting it will work too, and you can do it like in a tea or whatever, but the main thing is that you're trying to consume butter. The reason you're trying to consume butter is that you're not consuming enough fats. And when you start consuming fats, it's really good for cognitive functioning. And so cognitive functioning is basically just the functioning of your brain, and consuming fats is going to make your brain actually function better. And there's like this big like anti-fat America thing. That's wrong. You should be consuming more fats, a lot more fats. Some people say up to 40% of your diet should be fats, but it needs to be the right fats. So, it can't be the junky fats. So, because I kind of like consuming as many fats as I can early in the morning, especially if I don't know what I'm going to be hitting for lunch, and your body can really run off this stuff and just burn off of it, I love hitting a little bit of flaxseed oil in there. So I'll go ahead and I'll do like 4 or 5 scoops or squirts in there, and then to add to it, I got this coconut butter. You guys saw that, coconut oil. Was out of it when I got back from JE. I was like, oop, you guys saw me. We were at the, earlier we got this stuff. And so I will then go ahead and take a few tablespoons, maybe like 1 or 2. Keep it pretty light. You don't want to get too heavy, especially if it's your first time. And if it is your first time making this, don't blend multiple things together. Just do butter and see how your body reacts. And then add do that for a few days. Then do butter and flaxseed. And then do like butter and like coconut butter or coconut oil, like whatever. But like test variables individually. Don't test them all together. Because then if like you have a negative reaction or like whatever, or something makes you feel really good and you're like, wow, this is awesome, you won't know how to replicate it. So whenever you do experiments and you're trying to test things, especially as like an entrepreneur, and you're trying to figure out things in your business, test things on the small level so you know what happened, so then you can make the experiments more complex. For me, I'm like 6 months into the butter coffee morning ritual thing, and I found out that I love flaxseed oil, coconut oil, and butter all mixed together in my coffee. So I'll normally do a couple like scoops like that. Normally do like 1. I'm gonna go 1 because I just got this jar, and sometimes you can have a bad batch of whatever. So I wanna go a little bit light. Actually, screw it. It looks delicious. So we'll put it in 2. We'll go 2. Don't want to go too much because then you'll be like amped. Good, and blend it on up. Boom. Just like that. Now, why it's hot, I like to shake out or clean out the shaker bottle with some hot water.
Coffee's for fucking closers. Coffee's for closers. Closers only. Motherfucking closers.